Chelsea have also got another option up top, another summer acquisition in Liam Delap that I think every Chelsea fan got very excited about. Came in, took the number 9 shirt, said all the right things as well when they're talking about the 9 shirt and the nonsense about there being a curse or whatever. He'll drop that off. How's he going to be feeling though? Because I think we all thought Chelsea are going to start next season with him as the 9, with the 9 on his back, and it was going to be that going forward. But now, all of a sudden, in the space of 2.5 weeks, he's a world champion, granted, but he's got a little bit more competition.
Yeah, I mean, we can all dress it up as much as we want, saying that, we need competition for places. When Liam Delap would have signed for Chelsea, there's no way that he would have thought they're going to go and sign another person in his position.
How did you feel when that happened in your career?
Listen, I think it's part and parcel of the game. And in fairness, when you go to a big club, anything can happen week to week, especially at our club of late. But listen, there's an element of, listen, that's part and parcel when you go to a big club. And I think it was great business for us to go and get Liam for such small money, I think. He obviously has a lot of potential, performed well in the Premier League last year in a struggling team. But I think, listen, he's going to be feeling slightly not put out, but there's going to be a feeling. He didn't look like it when he came on. He done great when he came on last night. And I've got a lot of time for Liam Delap. He was at Derby when me and Frank first went there, before they moved him on to Man City's academy. He's obviously a talented boy, got a bit about him, got character. But the only thing that I would say is that all these early signs from Liam, from Joao Pedro, we need to hold off with the superlatives, if you want, at the moment, because we need to judge them when we're playing against teams that are not coming out from the back, because that's where we've had problems, I think, throughout the season. Now, don't get me wrong, do I think we're better with them two at the football club? Absolutely, I think we've improved in that area, but our biggest problems are going to come against teams that park the bus and we have to break them down. And when there's less, these players have performed, Liam's performed at Ipswich where there's plenty of room, teams think they're going to beat him. Joao Pedro's played for Brighton, it's not quite the same as playing for Chelsea. It's a totally different feel, and you'll see that a lot more in the Premier League than you will in this tournament. So at the moment, I think they've both made great starts, impressed hugely, and us as fans should be rightly excited about what we've got with these two. But the real test will come when teams are parking the bus against us and they need to find room. And is there enough spaces and room and chances for them to be created where they can score as many goals that we're hoping for?
If you don't want people to get carried away, Jody, you're in the wrong company, mate, because I am already. I think both of them look mustard. Genuinely.
Yeah, and do you know what? There's a lot of games next season. You know, there's got the Champions League. Last season, we could afford to have 2 teams, right? The Conference League is 1 team, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, we even call it early rounds, right? And the Premier League. There were 2 teams, essentially. Yeah. Next season, you can't do that. You cannot have that, because you've got to go full tilt in the Champions League, pretty much every single game. There'll be 1 or 2 maybe where he'll shuffle his pack. There will be chances. When those chances come, you've got to take it. Joao Pedro, in fact, both of them, they've taken the chances when they played. Jackson's got an issue, right? Because Jackson last season, I felt the club let him down a little bit by not having genuine competition. He knew whatever happened, and the manager knew, we all knew, he's going to start because he has to start. There's no number 1, number 9. He's the only one. Now, the rules have changed. Now we've got Champions League football. You've got to put out your best side for whoever you're playing against. And the games are going to come thick and fast. You wait. Big games. We're not playing Ludogorets. We're not playing, Beer Garden. We're going to be playing... We're not. We're playing against big teams, and you've got to go full tilt. And that's Arsenal. We've seen Newcastle struggle, Villa struggle, but having that challenge of going Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday, whatever it might be. And this squad, everyone's going to have to lean on everyone. And those 2 boys, those 3 boys up top, they'll be given chances when it comes. I can see Pedro. Pedro's not a number 9. They're 2 very different players, can play a similar role, but different. There'll be 1 game where Delap goes in there and 1 game where Pedro goes in. Take your chance when it comes.
There was a little murmur beforehand where, because Joao Pedro played not a huge amount of football, but he played a little bit as a number 10 at Brighton with Danny Welbeck when Danny Welbeck would play as a sort of 9. Is there a world that they can coexist? Are there games that you envisage Liam Delap and Joao Pedro starting?
I'm sure there'll be... whether you start games like that, I'm not sure, but there most definitely will be times when substitutions are made and the 2 of them will be on the pitch. I think the fact that you've got Pedro that is a little bit more versatile, I think, and I mean, he even played as a defensive midfielder when he was coming through was it Fluminense? I think he was. But I think you see that in how he works off the ball and how much he wants to help the team defensively. But listen, we need competition. Jace is right. And in fairness, I know he's touched on he felt Jackson never had competition. Well, Jackson should have maybe made the most of that without having that competition, because now we've gone and signed 2 players in his position. So, but as I said earlier, that's what happens at a big club. And if you want to push on and get to the next level, we do need to be making improvements in areas. And I think that's an area that was calling for it. And fair play to the owners and the manager for identifying these 2 players. Great bits of business, I think, on both of them. And let's see where it goes.
As an overarching conversation as well about the squad size that always gets thrown from everybody about how many players Chelsea have got, how many players Chelsea need to move on. You've both discussed at length the competitions that Chelsea are going to be in next season, the amount of games that are going to be coming, the fact we're going to have a really truncated pre-season as well. I think Enzo Maresca said the boys are going to have 3 weeks off and then it'll be like 10 days before Crystal Palace in the first Premier League game. So this season, the first 8 weeks are going to be quite telling, but there's still going to be quite a few players that are going to move on. Is there anyone you feel needs to move on now for their own?
There's lots. I mean, Sterling. I mean, there's players we've forgotten about. You know, there's Sterling. The big earners. Chilwell, is he still at the club?
Yeah, they're training at the moment.
You know, it's one of those you forget how many players we've got. Some will go on loan, and that'll be the right thing for them. Others got to move on permanently. And at a certain stage of your career, you can't be going on loan.
Nicholas Jackson, one of those that falls into that category now, might need to go and play football somewhere.
Well, that has been muted.
Yeah.
There's a conversation I've heard that Chelsea are open to offers on Jackson. So that right now, watch this space. Now that we've come back from the Club World Cup, maybe now some business will start being done. He's got to see. We just spoke about it, right? We've all seen it. He's third choice, right here, right now.
Absolutely.
He's still young as well, right?
Now, he is, but he's third choice, right? But he's one of those players that's played enough games not to accept third choice. He was number 1 last season. Now he's number 3. So on a personal level, he might have to think about, right, I need to play. I'm looking ahead. What does the landscape look for me for the next 12 months? Right.
And also, let's get it right. We've seen some reactions from him being brought off the pitch that have not been the greatest reactions to being substituted when he was number 1. So I can only imagine, and I'm obviously guessing here, I can only imagine what he'd be like around the place when he knows he's number 3 striker. They're the type of conundrums that you get when you bring in big squads and you have a lot of players. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Chelsea are listening for offers.
There's quite a lot of younger players that are coming in as well. Esteval is one that we're all very excited about. Yeah, well, that's what we're
free up spaces. Yeah, I mean, the Mudryk situation was a nuisance. We don't know what's going to happen there.
Jamie Gittins as well.
Sancho coming on loan didn't do enough at all, and I think it was the right decision to not take that loan move up. We've got Gittins coming in. I mean, the wide areas are packed, and they're versatile as well. You know, Neto can play on the left, he can play on the right. There's lots of options.
I like the look of it. If we're talking about the best team in the Premier League last year, Liverpool, they had options higher up the pitch where you could change it. I know we had options last year, but I'm with Jace. There's maybe players that didn't really produce to the level in which we was hoping for. But I'm excited to see Esteval. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, we all are, right? I've seen clips of him, right? But, when he's up against Dan Burn, right? And, I think we just need to go... I mean, Andre Santos, right? Yeah. Everyone's telling him, he's come in, and I'm like, right, you look like you're ready, mate. I'm looking at Esteval. There's a slight thing. I don't know how much time he's going to take to adjust. Hopefully I'm wrong, and he hits the ground and comes in, but... Just wonder with the Premier League, the physicality, the pace of it. We will see. I mean, Cucurella tried to boot him all over the pitch, didn't he?
Good start, though, isn't it?
Well, welcome to Chelsea. Yeah.